Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Weather with Jonathan here, back again with another weather forecast. And in this video, we will be talking about a severe weather event going on Saturday and Monday. So let's jump straight into the forecast. So jumping straight into what's going to be going on Saturday and Monday, and also just our fire risks. And we do have the potential of a hurricane, most likely tropical storm, but a possible hurricane in the eastern Pacific. Um, I know you guys are probably thinking, "What the heck? This is early May. We're starting to get into the middle of May, but still, and the potential of a tropical storm in the Atlantic or just a tropical depression. But as you can see here, we have lots of storms going on in southwestern Texas here and in southeastern New Mexico here. This is where we have a slight risk across pretty much that entire area here. This will contain the potential for a few tornadoes and strong winds and large hail. Honestly, they didn't put out a big threat for tornadoes, but honestly, I think a few tornadoes aren't out of the question. And then as we head into Monday here, this is where we have our bigger severe weather threat and where we could get possibly an enhanced risk. This is where we have a slight risk currently across portions of southern Arkansas, eastern Texas, pretty much the entire state of Louisiana, and western, central, and southern Mississippi. This will be mainly for large hail and strong winds, but a few tornadoes are not out of the question. And honestly, it'll just get more active from here. I mean, you can see here we have another storm system rolling in, and a few storms are possible in the Great Plains region, and then pretty much anywhere past about this storm system here is too far out to kind of predict, but it looks very active in terms of severe weather across much of the country here. And actually, as you can see here, we have a possible developing tropical related storm here. As you can see, that is possibly a tropical depression there. Um, so honestly, you guys, I wouldn't worry about that because that's not going to make landfall, and that's honestly like probably not going to become much. But let's look at the HRRR model. So looking at the HRRR model for kind of the timing of our severe weather here, because we do have a slight risk in Texas and kind of into portions of southeastern New Mexico here. It's mainly across this region here. But honestly, it does look like it could be pretty decent here. But as you can see here, we're having a few storms popping up around 2 p.m. here, and these will start to grow around 3 p.m. I think our kind of highest threat will be around probably about 4:30, and then it'll kind of start to drop down as these storms just kind of weaken and move out of the environment that they're most favorable in for producing large hail and damaging winds. But honestly, I'd really watch out for this area, especially for very large hail. Honestly, because it looks like a few monster supercells could pop up. I mean, look at that. I mean, they're if you get a closer look, which I'll give you a closer look in just a minute here, you will be able to see that it does not look very good. So taking a closer look at the HRRR model and these storms here. Okay, so this is around 2 p.m. here. You can see we have these storms popping up, and then these little kind of lines here represent the wind direction, these little lines like that. And then that kind of represents updraft helicity, which is basically like what almost causes a tornado here. So as you can see here, this is about 4 p.m. here. This is what I meant by monster supercells here. That looks pretty bad. And honestly, this area also looks bad. I gotta be honest though, this area is getting almost absolutely nothing. Um, as you can see there. And then honestly, this is kind of the area where I'd watch out for like kind of the big monster supercells here. It's like Kermit, Texas, um, just towns southeast of that, I'd be watching out for some absolutely monster hail and supercells and very damaging winds. So looking at our risks here, for our day one outlook here, you can see we have a slight risk for southwestern Texas. This will include places like Kermit, Texas, and Pecos, Texas. And then we have a marginal risk. This will include Albuquerque, New Mexico, Laredo, Texas, Midland, Texas, and Odessa, Texas. And then we have two other marginal risks here, one all the way up almost into Canada, or actually in Canada, in northwestern Minnesota and northeastern North Dakota. And we have another marginal risk in northern West Virginia, southeastern Ohio, and southwestern Pennsylvania. That will include like places like Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And then we just have a 2% tornado risk for southwestern Texas and southeastern New Mexico, a 5% wind risk for southwestern Texas and central and southeastern New Mexico, and portions of the Ohio River Valley in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia, and then up there in northwestern Minnesota and northeastern North Dakota. And then we have another 5% risk for hail in the Ohio River Valley, and a 15% risk for southwestern Texas for hail. Now looking at Monday, the 13th of May, this is kind of more of my concern, like the day I am more concerned about here, especially because this is a larger slight risk. And honestly, it's 3 days out still. We could still get a possible enhanced risk. I wouldn't be surprised if we did by like tomorrow or by the day one outlook, but I don't think a moderate risk is necessary for this. I think maybe an enhanced risk is possible, but the moderate and high risks, those are not going to happen in this, and I guarantee you that. And this slight risk will include places like Houston, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Corpus Christi, Texas, and that's about it. And then the marginal risk, this will include places like Dallas, Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Texas, Arlington, Texas, Plano, Texas, Little Rock, Arkansas, Mobile, Alabama. This will include a lot of places. So honestly, I would stay under the radar if you live in the slight risk, because honestly, if you live like around Orange County, Texas, you are kind of smack in the middle of this, and you could see an enhanced risk if you live around there. Orange County to Baton Rouge, Texas, that is kind of my hot spot for severe weather and where I think most of this will happen. Now, jumping into our tropical stuff here, like kind of our tropical storm related stuff and hurricane related stuff. As you can see here, like I showed you, that possible tropical storm in the Eastern Pacific. Honestly, there's kind of a good chance this happens here. I think it would most likely be a tropical storm, and it would probably go over around this area, and then kind of dissipate here. Our lowest pressure on this will be about 985 millibar. But as you can see here, models show this definitely developing in the Eastern Pacific here. I don't have any more forecast hours, but it shows this definitely developing in the Eastern Pacific. And this looks like it will definitely not make landfall with Mexico. Honestly, this is going to just dissipate before it hits Mexico and just completely dissipate. And then it does show the possibility of maybe just a storm or a subtropical storm pretty far northwest of Hawaii. But honestly, there's not a whole lot of hurricane activity expected in the near future. But this year will be very active. It'll kind of start in around June when we start actually seeing a few tropical storms here. And we could definitely see a hurricane by June. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. So thank you guys for coming and watching this video. Thank you so much for 100 subscribers. I appreciate the support, and please consider subscribing and liking this video and sharing this video with your family and friends. And I'll see you in my